So at that, I will maybe open it up to some questions.
Yes, we have one right there.
Okay. So 90% of our data is unstructured. And yes, it would be great to make use of that more effectively. But doesn't that 90% include a lot of draft documents that have errors in it, documents that were good at one time but now have been superseded or are obsolete? So how do you make sure you're using the right unstructured content instead of the things that are obsolete?
Right. So having a platform that can manage that content, and I know I can speak for Box. I can't speak for others, but I know that with Box, you have full version controls. Draft documents. Lawyers can work on one document and go through sort of the versions back to history. You can restore to a particular version if there's a need to do that. But basically the most current version is the one that is the live and most accurate version. So part of it is really having a platform that can manage the various versions of content.
Quick question. On your previous slide, you mentioned something about how the younger workers, there's a generational shift that is related to kind of content. I mean, are younger users using more content? I mean, could you explain a little bit from the Box point of view, like how you see that generational divide informing how people use content?
Yeah, so maybe I misspoke there because I didn't necessarily mean it was a generational thing in age there, but content is still at the core of everything we do at work, and whether it's contracts or loan documents, underwriting documents, home appraisals. I think what we're seeing is maybe generationally the more use of, I print stuff all the time, right? So I've got my bag full of printed documents, but I think people are more used to kind of accessing documents on their iPad, on their iPhone, at their office on their desktop. And again, that's one of the things that Box and other platforms probably provide, but we provide the ability to work anywhere on any device. And I think that's something that I would see as looking at my own kids and how they operate stuff. They don't run around with paper like me. Yeah.
I have, my question is more around the use cases, right? We saw those nine use cases, and go back in time, right? Year and a half ago, I think we had the same use cases. They were identical, actually, not only similar, right? So my question is more around what groundbreaking use cases we are seeing with Gen AI, right? Or it's just becoming simpler to solve the existing use cases. Probably answer is both, but personally, I'm not seeing the groundbreaking use cases. I mean, I'm just seeing that people are saying same thing in a different way. So I'd like to understand your take on that.
I'll give one example and be happy to talk more offline. Right before I came to Box, I was at AWS. And we had an insurance customer who came to us and said, we've got a very sophisticated AI factory. We're feeding our structured data in. We're doing downstream analytics, fraud analytics, processing. But what we're really struggling with is getting insights out of unstructured documents that are being submitted, and particularly in the claim space. So we built for them a solution that pulled metadata out of claim documents. So whether it be medical bills, proof of loss, things like that. And that system, using sort of nuts and bolts AWS services, was over $1 million project. So what we could do, and now we can do that today we could do it with Box AI, where we could pull out metadata, leveraging that generative AI infrastructure. And you couldn't do that a year ago. And you could, but it was a massive project, and frankly, the amount of infrastructure you have to build in order to put the controls around your environment is significant as well.
So it is the same use case, it just got a lot easier to accomplish.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're saying. Any last questions for Perry before we head over for break? But don't head out for break just yet, because I have a few announcements. Okay, Perry.
All right, well, thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.